OpenAI. You know the name. In what felt like the blink of an eye, this company went from a niche research lab to an $86 billion giant. They are, without a doubt, the leader of this whole generative AI boom. It really felt like they couldn't be stopped. But behind the curtain, a massive problem is brewing. So, how did the darling of the tech world find itself staring down a major crisis? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. To really get your head around OpenAI's insane success, you have to start with this number, 100 million. That's how many regular users their star product, ChatGPT, pulled in, and it did it in a ridiculously short amount of time. I mean, we're talking about a user base the size of a large country just appearing almost overnight. And look, this isn't just hype. Analysis from Swiss bank UBS confirmed it. ChatGPT wasn't just fast, it was the fastest growing consumer app in history, period. It smashed that 100 million user mark in just 2 months, a truly legendary run. But as it turns out, that incredible speed might just be its greatest weakness. Because while everyone was watching that historic growth, deep cracks were starting to form in the empire. And the biggest one? A hidden financial crisis that, no joke, threatens to bring the entire company to its knees. Forget all those abstract billions for a second. The company is estimated to be burning through $5 million every single day. And that's not for expansion. That's just the cost to keep the lights on and the servers humming. So, let's zoom out a bit. That daily burn rate adds up to a staggering $200 million loss every month. Just think about that. Even with all their paying customers, they are losing a ton of money. This isn't a business model, it's a bonfire of cash. The consensus among analysts is pretty clear. This just isn't sustainable. In fact, there's serious talk that the company could be looking at bankruptcy as early as 2027. So the big question is, how did the undisputed king of AI get to this point? Well, the company is being hit from all sides by 4 crises that are all connected. It's not just one thing going wrong, it's a perfect storm of problems that are actually feeding off each other. Let's break them down one by one. Okay, first up, the magic is kind of fading. The core product, the very thing that made them famous in the first place, seems to be hitting a wall. You know, those incredible leaps in performance that blew everyone's minds? Yeah, those aren't really happening anymore. Just look at this comparison right here. We went from these game-changing leaps that you could actually see and feel to a new reality where these massive multi-billion-dollar investments are only giving them improvements of maybe 15%. It looks like they're hitting the limits of their current tech, where just making the models bigger doesn't automatically make them smarter. And this isn't just a hunch, the data backs it all up. As the innovation has slowed down, so has user interest. The average time people spent on the platform actually dropped from 27 minutes a day down to 21. It's simple. When the improvements aren't obvious, people just start to lose interest. All right, let's move on to crisis number 2, which builds right on top of the first one, the broken business model. This goes all the way back to that massive cash burn we talked about. The company's costs for data centers, for chips, for talent, they're all skyrocketing, but the revenue just can't keep up. This chart shows the problem perfectly. Their revenue, it only covers about 60% of what they spend. That other 40%, that's a financial black hole that they are desperately trying to fill, and it's forcing them to make some pretty risky moves. And here's one of those moves. OpenAI has started rolling out ads across almost all of its products. Now, sure, this might boost their revenue by 20%, but it is a huge gamble. Research shows that 6 out of 10 people prefer platforms without ads, and this could easily push their most loyal users right out the door. So, crisis number 3 is all internal. While the company is fighting all these fires on the outside, it's also kind of rotting from the inside. There's a constant stream of leaders leaving and a real lack of clear direction, and it's creating chaos and a ton of uncertainty. I mean, just look at this timeline of instability. You've got co-founders leaving to start their own rival companies, that whole infamous ousting and return of CEO Sam Altman, and then a wave of executive resignations. More than a quarter of the company's key leadership has walked out. That is a massive vote of no confidence. And that chaos at the top, it's trickling down. A shocking 40% of employees feel like the company has no clear direction. I mean, how are you supposed to innovate and compete when your own team feels lost? This internal rot is a serious threat to their ability to get anything done. And that brings us to the final crisis, the threat from the outside. While OpenAI has been tied up with its internal drama and money problems, its rivals have not been sitting around. The AI race is heating up, and OpenAI is starting to lose its lead. Just compare their situation to Google's Gemini. OpenAI had to build its entire audience from scratch. Google, they just plugged Gemini directly into products that billions of people already use every single day. That gives them a massive advantage in distribution, and believe me, they are patching up fast on the technology front too. So, after breaking down this potential collapse, what's the big takeaway here? Let's translate all this analysis into some real, actionable insights for anyone who's investing in or maybe building on the whole AI ecosystem. For investors, the red flags are clear and they are waving like crazy. You're looking at an extreme cash burn, a business model that's fundamentally broken, serious internal chaos, and intense competition. The risk of losing your entire investment with a potential bankruptcy by 2027 is very, very real. You have to factor that into any decision. And for businesses or developers, the message is all about managing your risk. Building your own products on a platform this unstable is a huge strategic gamble. You're facing a worse user experience because of ads and slowing innovation that could hold back your own growth. The clear strategic move here is to diversify. Start exploring alternatives like Google's Gemini right now before you get trapped on a sinking ship. Which leaves us with this one last question. Is OpenAI a historic opportunity to get in on the future? Or is it a generational trap, just a spectacular flameout that's waiting to happen? The answer to that is going to define the entire next chapter of the AI revolution.